muita coisa, os formadores, os colegas, a forma de trabalhar.
A quantidade de informação que conseguiram passar praticamente num mês, ou menos de um mês.
Para quem ama e gosta de bar, dá para chegar a todos os pontos, desde de um destilado a um fermentado, conseguimos absorver uma quantidade enorme de conteúdo.
Todos eles percebiam mesmo das áreas que estavam aqui a falar, muitos deles percebiam de muito mais áreas até, que facilitava muito. Falámos de muitas coisas e acabámos por falar de várias coisas numa aula que supostamente era sobre vodka, falámos de conhaques e de outras coisas, isso facilitava também bastante.
Adorei todos os formadores, Hugo Silva, Pedro Costa.
Gostei muito do Lapa, por exemplo.
Sabem aquilo que ensinam a gente.
Teachers are all excellent. In the world, excellent teacher in the Europe, to say.
Já recomendei bastante, tanto através das redes sociais, como através de boca a boca, para amigos e de amigos para outros amigos, e recomendo a 100%.
Recomendaria. E já recomendei a muitos colegas meus também que têm uma paixão pela área.
A toda a gente que quer ingressar nesta área de bar e que não tenha conhecimentos, acho que este curso é uma mais-valia.
Boas tardes a todos. Hoje vamos ter connosco Simone Bodini, um ex-campeão mundial de flare bartending, hoje um dos embaixadores mais reconhecidos neste mundo, embaixador de vodka, da famosa vodka Stolichnaya, onde irá falar aqui um pouco sobre a vodka e muito mais. Façam as vossas questões que estejam em casa. Como anfitrião temos Nino Lopes. Nino Lopes, também um ex-campeão mundial, teve um bar em Inglaterra, neste caso em Leeds, que tive o privilégio de o conhecer, no qual foi também o melhor bar de Inglaterra fora de Londres. Era deste senhor que tem à vossa frente, onde vai ser o nosso anfitrião. Também trabalhamos em conjunto enquanto consultoria. Nino Lopes, que tem muitas consultorias no Dubai, África do Sul, Inglaterra, França, Espanha, Portugal, e hoje em dia estamos em conjunto. Posto isto, vou aqui trazer a Big Star e Simone Bodini. Hi, my friend.
How are you, my good friend?
Thank you. Okay, the stage is yours, okay? And I see you later, and have a nice time in here, okay?
Great. Thank you. Muito obrigado.
Olá, boa tarde a todos. Obrigado por terem vindo. Meu nome é Nino Lopes. Estou aqui hoje com Simone Bodini. E hoje praticamente vamos falar sobre vodka, vamos falar sobre Stoli. Se tiverem perguntas, vamos estar aqui praticamente 1 hora, não muito mais que 1 hora, por isso estamos aqui até às 7h05, ou mais tardar. E se tiverem algumas perguntas, enquanto estivermos aqui a falar, façam favor pelo Instagram ou por StreamYard, como queiram, ok? Simone, ciao, come stai?
Tutto bene, amico mio. No, the only good thing is that I still understand completely Portuguese, but yeah. I don't speak anymore. But I understood everything you said.
It's the same with me. In my Italian roots, I understand Italian, but I can speak only a little bit. So nice to have you again. Last time we spoke for hours about the industry, about Stoli Vodka, about your journey from a bartender to where you are now as an ambassador. So first of all, let's talk about vodka. Yeah?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. And I think you need to promise me next time we do this, we need to have vodka. I need to have a bottle of vodka with me, and we'll sip while we talk.
Yes.
And so for the ones who don't know, just tell us about vodka in general and Stoli in particular. You know, how is Stoli? What makes Stoli different from all the vodkas? First of all.
Great start, I will say. Well, I love talking about vodka. No matter if you like it or not, we need to understand that vodka is probably one of the most stimulating categories, especially from a marketing point of view, for the reason that there are no regulations on vodka. I mean, there are just couple regulations, which are super generic. Like one is that the alcohol that you use has to be higher than 96% ABV, and that you mainly want to strip out almost all the flavor of the original ingredient. Then there are some other regulations on like boring stuff, like how much citric acid is allowed, how much sweetener is allowed, but and then the ABV, that in Europe should be minimum 37.5, rest of the world usually is 40% ABV. That's it. There is no other regulation. If we touch other category of spirits like tequila or mezcal or bourbon or cognac, they have high regulations, a lot of rules to follow, and they are checked by the government. They have designation of origin, like we all know and we all agree. Tequila is from Mexico, cognac is from France, bourbon is from USA. They have a specific ingredient to work with, and usually also specific amount of these ingredients that are minimum quantities allowed, like the 51% for tequila, the 51% of corn for the bourbon, and we all know these stories. And when it comes to vodka, is the far west, is the land of opportunities, because there are no rules at all. You can do whatever you want, you can use whatever you want. So there is not a country that is supposed to produce. There is no designation of origin. There is no designation of what is that? You have a kid around.
Yeah, man. Come and say hi to Simone.
Hi.
Tudo bem?
Yeah, he speaks English. He's English. Yeah, he just came to show me a present for Mother's Day. So he's
okay, cool.
Tiago, go downstairs. Daddy's on the. Okay, thank you. Sorry about this.
No worries. I thought something was going on. Anyway, so it's basically the land of opportunities. Like, you know, when there were the settler going to US.
The whole family's coming to say hi.
That's fine, man.
We just came from school, though.
Thank you. Nice to see you. I'll be with you guys in a bit.
I'm gonna give you a hug as well, man. So basically, it's like you can do whatever you want. That's what makes it super fun, because you really have the freedom to play as you want if you respect these small rules, and you will find vodkas from everywhere, like from every corner of the planet. Hawaii, Caribbean, Japan, wherever.
You know, younger kids or younger bartenders. I know when I was younger, there was always that myth that vodka had to be made with potato. I don't know if you had the same thing. You know, I know we know now these days it's not true. Actually, there's only a very small quantity of vodka that is made with potato.
Yeah, you know, potatoes came a little bit afterwards. What people sometimes they don't even remember is that vodka is very ancient. It's like a very ancient spirit. It's one of the first spirits that was ever produced, and it's even before medieval times. They found in archaeological studies like clay pot stills, or basically clay pots. They used to call them corchagas. They used to look like the olla de barro for making mezcal. And they were producing these vodkas, these very rudimental vodkas, around the year 1000, 1100. So it's super old. But and that's helping us to, it's very easy to understand where vodka is born, more or less, and which ingredient is the original for vodka. And I will tell you right away. Vodka coming from the Slavic word voda, which means water, my little water. So Slavic, maybe Russia, maybe Poland, maybe Ukraine, maybe Mongolia, maybe Kazakhstan, maybe the Baltic, but absolutely no French, no Italy, no Portugal, no Japan, because we didn't speak Slavic in the past. So it's one of these countries. We don't want to start the fight because it's very delicate.
No, I know. It's very delicate.
And the ingredient, I mean, we're talking about pre-medieval time. There was no Amazon for shipping fruit from the other corner of the planet. And all you could use for producing alcohol was around you, in your farm. So what is the only thing you can find in pre-medieval, let's say, Russia? It's grains. Only grains. Because people sometimes they forget that potatoes are a sweet present from Central America. And they came back to Europe at the end of the year of the 15th century when Cristoforo Colombo came back with corn, with potatoes, with red bell peppers, chili and stuff like that. Great stuff, by the way. So potatoes were largely used in the end of the medieval times and during the big wars because they were cheap and they were very easy to cultivate in cold winters like these countries have. And you can also make vodka usually out of the skin of the potato that usually you don't eat. So it was like the way, it was like kind of a reaction to poverty. The people were very poor. They couldn't make vodka, so they were using very poor ingredients because grains, like rye, for example, they were considered very expensive ingredients, and they were. So vodka has been largely produced by potatoes leftovers during the wars, like Napoleonic Wars or World War I, World War II. That's why people now, they think it's one of the original, and let's say, yes, it's one of the original, but the real ingredient where everything started was grains.
Good. Right, so we've got a couple of questions here from one of them is Carlos Joya. Pretty much, this is a subject that we spoke before on our first chat, which was, pretty much your journey from bartender to ambassador.
Well, nice one.
I did mention we were going to talk about vodka, but in the end of the day, you are, in the eyes of most people, Stoli vodka. So that's what ambassadors do. So really briefly, for the ones who don't know your story, let's try and not make it as long as we did last time, because last time we had more time.
Don't worry. It will be very short. I will make it short.
Just tell the guys how everything started. How old were you? How old were you? What type of bartender were you, and your journey? I remember you never left Italy. I remember that you told me you had a chance to work abroad, but you decided never to leave Italy. You're a bit like me, from a small town as well. I was the opposite. I went all over the world. But that's what stories are about. So just tell us a bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, every masterclass I do, and I did quite a lot at this point, the reality is that the majority of these people coming to the master classes, they just come there to meet you. I mean, they want to know about the product, they want to learn, they want to know about how you produce, what are the bullet points of whatever you're representing. But the reality is that they really want to come and meet the brand ambassador. And the brand ambassador is a human being with a story, and they want to know the story. And especially with a job such as advocacy, they want to know the story and the process, because they might want to be in your shoes. They might want to follow your path, because maybe it could be a very good happy ending for a career in the bar, let's say.
Yeah.
So I'm very used to do like emotional, motivational speeches, especially to the young ones, that I really adore to do also, because this was something I would love to hear when I was young from older bartenders. Anyway, to make it super short, I never planned to be a bartender. I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I ended up studying sociology. and ended up in a bar by fortune. The beginning was very rough because I was just there to make some money, as everyone is doing when he's a student. I didn't know how to make cocktails. I was forced by the owner of the place where I was serving table to be the bartender. And he told me, I'm going to pay you more. So I said, okay, yes, I need money, so I'm going to make the bartender. And I was going to work with a little book underneath the bar. And this is 1997. So I think some people here, they were not even in the thoughts of their parents. Yeah, they were not even in the thoughts of their parents. And I love to make the joke that probably I contributed to some of these new generation of bartenders, because maybe their parents were drinking a cocktail from me and they went home and did a beautiful love night and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I ended up in a bar by fortune. I thought this job was amazing. I was very shy in the beginning, and it really helped me out to be a better person in terms of communication, talking to people, and interact with society. I felt in love for flair bartending quite right away. I remember I saw these two guys making these flair moves in a bar, and I was like, wow, what the hell is this? I need to do it. And I'm talking about an era that I like to make jokes like Jurassic Park, but it's like the late Jurassic era, because we didn't have internet. Internet was not this developed. YouTube, what is YouTube? Social media, what are the social media?
It was all about video cassettes at the time.
Yeah, the VHS, these big video cassettes. And everything was so analogic. So imagine me as a kid, where do I see flair bartending? I had to enter in a bar and to see with my eyes these two guys throwing bottles in the air. And I asked them, wow, I want to learn. I want to do the same. And they told me, go home, watch the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise. And if you like the movie and the plan, you can come to the park to practice with us. And then we ordered the VHS, this big cassette from America, from FBA, and the first flair bottle that were like huge of 1 liter. So anyway, I felt in love for flair. I dedicated my young years to flairing. I actually became a world champion when I was about to finish my career in flair in 2006. I did these major competitions of Roadhouse in London, Legends of Bartending in Las Vegas. And I was very happy to be one of these, top dogs around the planet. I was for years like one of the first 30 best considered bartenders in the industry. And
by the way, you don't know this, but the first time we actually met very briefly was in 2006.
Oh, cool. Where?
It was in Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, man. I used to love Roadhouse, but my last Roadhouse, man, it was the best stage I've ever been in. It was Roadhouse. It was such, but it's been a long journey with the flair as well, like 10 years doing flair more or less. I quit in 2007 just for the sake that I didn't like to do it anymore. Everything I've done, usually I do for passion. I love to do like crazy, but then at some point when I don't have passion anymore, I stop, like from a day to another. So I totally disappeared from the flair scene, and I was, working as a bartender, bar manager, whatever. At the end of the day, I did 20 years in the industry, in bars, and I like to say that I've been killing billions of lime and mopping thousands of kilometers squared of floor. Because at the end of the day, no matter what is your level, what we all do in the hospitality is an hard job, and it's very fatiguing. But we have the fun part, which is maybe having your tips, making some good income, or traveling, meeting new friends, or going to this competition. So it was a long journey. And to finish to the question, at some point, Story approached me. They were looking for an ambassador, and I will make it long. I asked to the guy that was proposing the job where I should sign. Should I sign with my blood or what? And that was really the step that changed in my life. And at the end of all this, walking, I'm describing more than 20 years of my lifetime. At the end, you really understand that everything you've done was for a reason. Everything you studied was for a reason. Right now, I can be in front of 100 people doing a masterclass, feeling confident because of flair. Because with the flair, I was capable to stay on the stage, hundreds and hundreds of people in front of me and perform. And I felt confident. And I learned how to interact with them. By sociology, I learned, because it might look like a waste. I didn't take the degree, you know. But with sociology, with anthropology and psychology, I learned how to manage customers. I learned how to communicate with people. And by science, even by science, that I was studying, you know, black holes and galaxies and stuff like that, I learned the basics to know that to explain distillation, you can be fun and engaging, or to explain fermentation without making people falling asleep. And I stopped there, became humble enough to know that if I'm explaining how I do a fat wash, I don't have to look like I'm Einstein, because really you're not Einstein doing fat wash or, you know, filtrating to remove colors and stuff like that. So everything I've done was for a reason. And that's why I love life, because really, when you look back, you say, wow, you see, 20 years ago, I entered in that bar for that reason. Yeah. So young guys, walk, do your job, make your hands dirty, be curious, and you will see, maybe someday you will say, wow, you know, 20 years ago I did this, and now I know the reason why.
Yeah. So you pretty much have answered the a question from Bernardo Neto, asking for advice for young bartenders out there. So I think pretty much your last words are, you know, humble, best advice, you know, be humble,
curiosity,
learn your stuff,
look for criticism. Constructive criticism is everything you need in your life to build up as a better man day after day. If everyone is telling you you're great, if you look yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself how cool I am, you're not growing. You will not grow. Learn from your mistakes and do a lot of mistakes. Life is so fun because of these mistakes. It's an actual opportunity to learn something. There is this thing that the Japanese do that I adore, that when something from clay maybe broke, they will not buy a new one. They will glue it and they will put gold or silver in the scars where it was broken, mixed it with the glue. Yeah. Just to symbolize that mistakes or accidents are the better things in life, and is an occasion, a unique occasion to learn something more. And do the same in your life. I mean, do mistakes. If not, it would be a very boring journey. But try to learn from your mistake. Otherwise, you will be just an idiot jumping around.
Great advice. So Simone, let's go to Stoli now. So give us a quick history about Stoli Vodka, like the beginnings.
I like this question. What makes Stoli a great vodka? And I know exactly how to answer this in 1 minute maximum. You know why? Because every time I do speak with press, journalists or whatever, they always start and they say, man, I know you can talk for ages, but I need everything in 1 minute, because I need to put down my sentences and write something on the news, on this journal or whatever. So I got expert on this. So first of all, I'm gonna share with you this, which is a bottle of Stoli from the 60s. So this is still sealed. Here it is, from the 60s. So this is reason number one why Stoli is a great vodka. Is every time I open a bottle of Stoli with my friends, I always say, I'm gonna open a nice bottle of vodka, but I'm gonna open for you the bottle that contains the history of vodka. We are a company around from more than 80 years by copyright, and around 100 years from the beginning of the journey of the name Stalichnaya, which means vodka of the capital. Basically, it was one of the first vodka produced in Russian Empire by order of the Tsar, and was the vodka for the Kremlin, for the capital. So first of all, it's the vodka that it's not just one vodka that boomed out in the 90s in America or in Canada. Is a part of the vodka history. If we say vodka history is 500 years, 1/5 of vodka history we contributed. And there are tons of stories to share. that, of course, we don't have the time now, but we've been the first vodka to launch flavored vodkas. First vodka to be in space. And it's a brilliant joke. It's a prank made from cosmonauts to astronauts. Is you have to look for the handshake in space. Put in YouTube or Google handshake in space, and you will see the story of this Russian cosmonaut bringing story as a present to Americans in space when they connected the spacecraft. It's amazing. So many stories. And quality-wise, to make it super short, traditional vodka from the traditional country, in our case, is mixture of Russian and Latvian. But remember, we started 100 years ago when these countries were underneath one politic asset and one country only. So we just keep the production as it was before. So it's from the original country, which is not New Zealand, is not Hawaii, is not Canada, is Russia. If I think about vodka, it's Russia into my brain, or Polish, or Ukrainsky, or whatever. And with traditional ingredients. So nothing fancy. We use grains, wheat and rye. So you have great ingredients cultivated from us in Russia, best class alcohol, because it's an alpha grade spirit, which is the best level of purity recognized by the authorities, mixed with great vodka from the Baltic, filtered to perfection with the right techniques, without using meteorites, without using diamonds and whatever. Our marketing approach is...
I like the way you said it, David.
Yeah, man, because our marketing approach, in vodka, you have a lot of very wild marketing, because if there are no laws, you can say whatever you want. And nobody can come to you and say, hey, man, you cannot say that you're using diamonds if you're not. It's forbidden. No, you can do. You can put pot stills on the bottle. You can say whatever you want. Family made, handmade. You can say whatever you want.
Water from a glacier. Water from a glacier, which is 1 billion years old or something.
Yeah, filtered with Saturn rings dust. You can say whatever you want. So we are honest. We are a traditional vodka. We're making vodka from a long time, applying century of know-how and culture. We're very proud of what we do. And we come to you with this nice bottle, not a Kalashnikov, not a skull, not a alien head, not a spacecraft. It's a classic bottle with great liquid and nice stories to share. That's all about.
Do you think, has the liquid changed a lot since the 60s? Since, for example, the liquid that you've got in that bottle, how different is it now from the liquid that you present today?
Man, to be honest with you, I didn't try this one, but I tried other ones. It's quite similar, to be honest with you, because the formula is the same, more or less. And, Stoli started exactly when the concept of modern vodka started, which is the beginning of the 20th century. So before that, vodka was called bread wine. Now I'm going to impress you with my Russian, chlebnaye vino, which means bread wine, vino de pan, because it was a rudimental fermentation of grains distilled in a copper pot still. So, from your experience, that if we're talking about this, it's like having a whiskey, but not aged.
Yeah.
And it's tasty of bread. It's really tasty of rye bread, of wheat bread, whatever grain you've been using. So from that point, vodka changed drastically to something that was not focusing on the flavor, but on ABV, purity, and mouthfeel, with this new industrial columns distillation and this progress. You know that even Mendeleev, the famous scientist, the one that created the periodic table, was involved in creation of the perfect formula of vodka. So now we have the perception. Now we have the perception that industrial is bad. We want everything to be handcrafted. Everything has to be made by hands. That's why when you visit these distilleries of tequila, that they do everything with machinery. But when the bartender is there, they will put up a dressed up mule, and the mule is going to do the Tahona stone and everything else. But this is a waste of time. If at the very end, it doesn't impact on the flavor using the mule. With your volumes, you cannot use the mule, so it's just a trick. Also, if you are inoculated the yeast by hands, the Tahona stone doesn't make any effort. If you know about mezcal, you know about it.
Yeah. I know, it's the same thing. Same thing with Simone. Same thing with rum. When you go there,
exactly, man.
When you go there, you see people chopping the canes, the sugar canes. But when you're not there, a big machine is going to harvest all of it.
Exactly. But that's why, because now people they associate handcraft with quality. you have to understand that 100 years ago, industrial system, modernity were perceived well. Imagine these folks that they were boiling the vodka in their home, and they heard that there were this super modern technological distillery creating the best quality alcohol for them with the best purity levels, without a bad taste, and they could actually get this vodka instead of the homemade vodka. That was the boom. Everyone was crazy for this. Of course, somebody was doing criticism, but the majority of people were happy because the perception of modernity was different. Today, it's like maybe in 100 years, people will complain about using cell phones and computer, and they will tell you, man, I like when you write with a piece of paper and pen. But at this time, today, everyone is crazy for technology. Nobody's going to say, iPhone is bad. I don't want my iPhone anymore. I don't want my headphones anymore. It's the same thing. In society, the perception changed. So in the beginning of the new way of making vodka was considered very well. Now people will tell you, it's industrialized, it's done in columns, it's rubbish. But in the beginning it was good. And slowly, the formula was registered underneath this new concept. So it's already the same taste of now, basically. Nothing has been major changes. If we were being produced 300 years ago, probably the taste would be totally different. But since we are there from the beginning of the modern vodka, what I like to call the modern vodka production, is the same flavor, more or less.
Okay. Right, so we've got a question from Marco Souza. Which is your favorite cocktails with Stoli?
Okay, interesting question. And I will answer first, and then I will add some personal touch. My favorite cocktails with Stoli are Bloody Mary and Martini, dry Martini. End of the story. And vodka soda, Skinny Bitch. but no lime for me, please, no lime.
Yeah.
So why I'm saying this is because, especially when you are getting older, when I was young, I was drinking everything. Like, I remember in my first years, I was crazy for Long Island iced tea, Long Beach iced tea, Texas iced tea, Mai Tai, all the cocktails that containing like lots of ingredients.
But looking at your history, which is very similar to mine, I think we must be around the same age. That were the drinks drank on the late 90s. Those were the drinks. If you were, especially, I had a very small period of flair bartending. It was really, it was a summer, and I realized flair wasn't for me. I was more into flavors and perception of flavors, and then turning into molecular, but not the commercial molecular. The proper stuff. No caviars and stuff. And those were the drinks at the time. If anyone would start. If anyone would start a bartending at the time, you would get those. You would get the Long Island iced teas. You get the tequila sunrises. You get all of those things that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So you started with those. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same point today we have so many great cocktails, so much more choice. But the reality is that when you get, maybe it's just that I'm an alcoholic, I will be honest with you. But the reality is when you start to understand that you're drinking and the quality is based on what you pay, if you are smart enough, because especially with vodka, you can really spend a lot of money with very crap, bad liquid that is just marketing. But if you start to understand what you like to drink, if you become more cultured as a drinker, and you understand that you have to spend a little bit more, that's really the turning point when you start to think, you know what, why should I waste this beautiful distillate in a cocktail? And you barely start to drink straight. That's why I'm saying I love vodka martini, because vodka martini, dry martini, is just a glass of frozen vodka with a splash of vermouth. Mm-hmm. Then maybe an olive, maybe a lemon zest, but that's what it is. With no addition, you really feel the distillate. I don't know. I don't feel like crazy. I have cocktails that I love, even without vodka. Like Negroni is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Paloma. I like Palomas. I could, and it depends on where you are. I mean, I would love to stay now on the beach of Jericoacoara in Brazil and having a mango caipirinha. I would love to do that. So I think everywhere you are, and depending on your mindset and mood, there is a specific drink. That's the problem, that you can never have an excuse to drink wherever you are with every mood. But yeah, I like simple cocktails. I like cocktails where the distillate can come out, can be the protagonist.
I think that's a thing of age as well, isn't it? You know, as you grow older, your taste buds tend to develop. And, you know, when I was maybe 18, I would never think about myself drinking what I drink today, which is, you know, if I go to my freezer, I've got a fresh cold bottle of vodka in there, and the same with gin. Because I like it to be almost to the freezing point. You know, and it comes thick sometimes. So
yeah, man. The reality is that we become alcoholic. That's the real story. Then we wanna, you know, mask, you know, hide it with like, now I know what I'm drinking. I can spend more on this. I always say when I go to visit some friends in bars, maybe in hotel bars, I say, I love to come to an hotel bar and have my martini, because here I can come with my suit, with my tie, stylish, and being an alcoholic with style and manners.
Savoy in London is
my God, man.
Yeah, you know,
one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Is me as well. You know, I cannot go to the Savoy. I cannot go to the Savoy without putting some of my best clothes and, like you said, sit there and look like a posh alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's nothing wrong. I mean, it's great. Everybody will love you, but try to do the same, like bad dress like a gypsy, maybe in a corner in a bar. They will kick you out. But when you are with your suit, with your martini in your hands, it's another story, you know. Class.
Okay, so we've got a couple more questions. Let me see. So the quick history of vodka, you've done that. Okay, Stoli vodka. Okay, so which one was the first flavor the Stoli launched?
Oh, it's super crazy, man. Because let's say first that we didn't invent the flavored vodkas. We didn't create them. We were the first in 1962 to put in a shelf on a shop flavored vodkas in a bottle with a brand. That's another story. Because by history, flavored spirits are around from a long time. And why? Because the distillation process were very rudimental. Spirits were tasting like poop because they didn't know how to cut heads and tails. They didn't know how to control fusel oil, sulfurous compounds.
They used to die or get blind.
Yeah. They were very strong, but they were tasting like poop, honestly. So what common people were doing were infusing these distillates with fruits, spices, herbs. It was common. Even the Italian Samaros, they were created like with this mindset, and a lot of spirits were infused with everything. And so vodka. So what we did was to batch, like these pre-batch cocktails that are very popular today, to batch two very classic recipes of vodka that have been around from centuries. And they have very crazy names, but I apologize, it's Russian. So one is Akatnicha. And Akatnicha is a yellowish vodka with a chicken, look like a chicken on top of the bottle. Because this meaning, Akatnicha means the vodka of the hunters. This was a very popular mixture that hunters and fishermen would take with them going to hunt or fish in the cold weather. It's a blend of vodka, herbs, honey, spices, and my dog is crazy. Vodka, herbs, spices, and a white wine like port. Imagine you mix all together and you put it in a bottle. That's the Katnicha. And the other one is Persovska. It's more like something more normal for us. It's vodka infused with red peppers, like cayenne, chili peppers, garlic, and black corn of peppers. So this is very spicy, very nice taste, but you don't want to kiss or talk to a girl afterwards.
But that sounds good for a nice Bloody Mary, man.
Man, it's great. And this is what we first did. Then in 1986, we did this Lemonaya with lemon. like more a modern concept of vodka, you know, with this only one flavor. It's not a cocktail of flavors, it's just one, the lemon, for example. And these two that we launched in 62, they were like pre-batch cocktails, let's say. More, but the Persosca, the one with peppers, the spicy one, I love it. And you can still drink these vodkas when you visit these countries like Ukraine, Russia. They will serve you this kind of vodkas in your meal.
So you know, looking at the data that you just mentioned, you know, you're talking about the 60s. I think the closest thing was maybe the next flavored vodka that came to the market was Absolute, talking about what, 80s? There's a good gap of 20 years.
Yeah, man. The reality is that every company will claim to be the first. The good thing is that there is a history. That's what I love. And history can be tracked by yourself. You can check, you can Google. This technology is allowing us to really understand who's telling us lies or who is being true to us. Sometimes it's super easy, you know, you just check. And this is not happening with other categories, not brands, like with the rum, with bourbon. They all based on legends of mariners, pirates, settlers, and cowboys and smugglers that you can never find out. And, you know, I was reading this book that is called The Bourbon Empire, and he's talking about American whiskey, of course. And I agree with the author. The author was saying, who cares if the story of the smuggler, of the prohibition, of the settlers, cowboys is true or not? If the story is nice and works, and you fall in love for the story, who cares if the story is true or not? So there are spirits that are, especially because of the long time ago, they have these kind of stories. With vodka, especially with modern vodka, everything is like happened in the last century. So you really can track what is happening, how and who did this and that. And it's really easy. So you will see every brand will claim to be this and that. I don't want to enter into this because I don't have time for this. I respect a lot of other brands. I don't respect a lot of other brands, but that's on my personal choice. I only think it's very gentle and educate not to disclose this in public speeches because you don't want to hurt anyone. But of course, I have my preferences. And the same goes with the story. And lots of people will tell you fake stories or good stories. It's up to you to trust who you want to trust.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Even in believing in fake stories, as I told you about the whiskey, I still enjoy my Michter's, to mention a brand, and they claim to be the oldest distillery in the US. And they are not, honestly, because it's the oldest parcel of land where a distillery was, that there is the new distillery now from other owners. But I love Michter's. I love to sip my Michter's rye. So do I really care about if the statement is true or not? I don't know, honestly. You know,
you find with the product, you're happy with the product, and that's for you.
Yeah, not even mentioning the legends of mezcal. I am a mezcal sipper. I am a huge mezcal drinker.
Love mezcal.
Man, every time you visit a palenque in Oaxaca or in Puebla, the maestro mezcalero is gonna tell you legends of his family, of his own legends. But who cares? The liquid is good. The story is nice. Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to go a few times to Mexico into some distilleries, and you know, you have to fall in love with that. You have to fall in love with that. I've got a question from Bernardo Neto. How many times is Stoli distilled?
This is a good question. It's also a great opportunity to start thinking in a different way, and for bartenders to really realize that they should prefer to use their experience and knowledge rather than what companies are telling them. Nowadays, the talking about vodka from a marketing point of view is mostly based on the ingredient, because consumers, they started to want to know what is the ingredient, and on the filtration methods that they do. Because on the filtration, you can really build up a lot of legends. The thing of the distillation is a little bit older, but I heard many times, like, this is distilled 10 times. This is distilled 100 times for purity. No, this is distilled just 3 times to retain flavor. Man, honestly speaking, 99.9 periodic of the modern vodkas are distilled in industrial columns. if you know about the distillation process, you know that the industrial column is a continuous system going up 24/7, 365, never stop. Every column has many plates, like 70 plates. Every plate is like a pot still. And the liquid and the vapor goes through continuously. And the distiller just need to isolate the cut, to cut heads and tails and take the alcohol in the concentration that is desired for purity level and economical reason. So with that said, why a company should come to you and telling you we distilled 5 times, 50 times, 3 times? They don't know. It's impossible to calculate how many times you are distilled in a column distillation. So what they will tell you, if you go with the question like, how can you say me that you are distilled 3 times if you're distilled in an industrial column? You know what they will answer you? No, we have 3 columns only. That's why we say distilled 3 times, because we pass through 3 columns in the round. Yeah. But then how many distillation? Who knows?
It's a continuous. It's a continuous. Yeah. You can't just put your finger and exactly.
What is more important, and you should ask Bernardo. And you should ask to your producer is, how did you run this distillation? How much did you discard in order to have a better purity in the liquid? How many heads, the volatile alcohol, how many tails, the fusel oils, this heavy alcohol, how many of those you discarded? This is crucial because vodka doesn't go through the aging process. Vodka doesn't go to the barrel. When you have something going to a barrel, you want impurities, you want heads, you want tails, because the barrel, the charcoal of the barrel, the wood, the oxidation, the esterification, all the processes that happens in a barrel, they happen only if you have congeners, flavor molecules, or impurities. If you don't have, they won't happen. So the headsy alcohol, the head, they will turn into fruity flavor. The taily, oily alcohols of the tails, they will turn into nutty, earthy, rooty flavors. But you need a barrel to do this magic. You need oxidation, interaction with the wood, esterification. You need the charcoal. You need this process. You need time. When you do vodka, you don't do that. You just go to the bottle. So you need to understand that they need to cut a lot of these heads and tails in order to give you a great texture and a good smooth taste. But to do this is expensive. That's why many vodkas that are cheap, they don't do these massive cuts, and you drink something that is not very good tasting at the end of the day. And that's the reality.
Smells like petrol.
Yeah, and that's the reality.
But that's, it's just the idea of business, isn't it? If you want to do something with quality, then you need to focus on where the quality is. If you want to make something about quantity, then, maybe you don't focus so much.
And with vodka, you will have this problem every day, Bernardo. Now I was reading Bernardo. But also to Bernardo, you will have this problem every day because vodka, there is very small culture around, and it's something that especially the owners, they want to make the most out of it, profit and revenue. So they will maybe buy a very cheap, bad tasting vodka just to make more profit, because they will tell you, who cares, man? Every vodka is the same. Every vodka is the same. It's not the same. Sorry, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And you can do your own experiment. Go out with your friend. You drink Stoli all night long and put it on my expenses. You send me the check. You say, Simone told me to do this. You drink Stoli all night long.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Now everyone will go. No, it's a joke. Huh? I don't have this TNE. But anyway, you drink Stoli all night long, and your friend will drink a cheaper vodka. Without calling any brand, a cheaper vodka. There are a lot of vodka that cost less. Only vodka, don't mix it. Only shots of vodka all night long. And the morning after, you call each other and you see who is feeling good and who is feeling engorged. And the engorged is because of the poor quality of the liquid and the impurities. And that's when you understand. When your head is exploding, the boom, boom in your head, and you feel sick, you understand. Next time, I should spend a couple of dollars, euros, or whatever more on my drinks, because the quality is about that $2 or €2 more.
I've worked in the past with Pernod Ricard and Diageo, and a few other companies, and with products like vodka. And it all comes from a decision on sometimes on how you want the product to be consumed. So one of the questions that most people say, and I tend to agree most of the times, is when you mix vodka with Coca-Cola, it all tastes the same.
Yeah,
Do you
more
agree
or
with
less.
that?
Yeah,
It's
more or
like,
less. I
you
agree.
know,
More or less, I
you've
agree.
got
And
lots- we have lots of factors. You know, if
No,
you
no,
mix,
but more-
if you mix vodka with ice, vodka by itself, of course you can see the differences. With ice, you can still see the differences. With sugary drinks, and then
it's yeah,
lime, lemon.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
But still, there is this.
Yeah. Go.
Still there is this important topic of what you're swallowing at the end of the day, and that's when the impurities come really into play. Because of course, if I go in a high volume disco and I'm drinking, as I did many times, all night long vodka Red Bull, not because I love vodka Red Bull, but do you think I can go to a disco and ask for a vodka martini? Can I have a vodka martini with olives? They will throw something on my face. So we have bottles at the table and we have Red Bull or we have soda and I drink that. Of course, if you have this Stoli vodka and Red Bull or another vodka and Red Bull, they will taste the same. But what happened to your liver, your body in the night if you drink cheap vodka or adulterated spirits? You will discover the morning after. So still, is still a good reason to drink a good vodka.
Yeah, I agree with you. But like I was saying, you know, so the young bartenders at home. And
I need to read you this from Instagram. There is Marcos, and this guy was a finalist from Cyprus in Elite Art of Martini 2017. So he's one of our champions. Okay. And Marcos is writing, ask me after having 3 liters of Elite in Ibiza. I still remember everything. It's true.
Wow.
It's true. We did massive parties. And majority of the bartenders the morning after they were able to come and do the competition or even to speak. Man, and trust me, when you drink at that level, you're surprised and you understand. Oh, now I'm going to tell you. You know,
I'm going to tell you a story, and this is one of the reasons why I'm not going to say the name of the product, but you will understand. You know which product is it. World Finals 2007. IBA in Puerto Rico. Okay. I was representing UK as the mixology side, and Tom Dyers was representing UK.
Oh, Tom, come on, Tom.
In the flair. We were favorites to win. Things didn't work well. Tom smashed during his presentation, smashed the glasses in the last. It was a disaster. I got sick. You know, food poisoning and stuff. Someone else took over. It doesn't matter. Last day, we had, you know, the awards, gala, and whatever. And I got to meet, keep in mind it was sponsored by Bacardi. So I'm already giving you a clue, 2007, which vodka was it? And the owner of Bacardi, I think at the time was 4th or 5th generation Bacardi. He sit with us and we were sipping vodka. And I remember having maybe 4 glasses of vodka in San Juan, Puerto Rico, at the Caribe Hilton Hotel where the pina coladas were created, and all I wanted was more pina coladas.
Yeah, you had to drink vodka from friends.
And I had after 4 glasses, I can't remember anything. All I remember was Salvatore Calabresi and Peter Dorelli knocking on my room because everyone was in the bus ready to go to get the flight to come back to the UK,
and you were about to miss the flight.
Oh my God!
So you see, you learn with yourself. You learn yourself, Nino, that it's very important to drink good quality vodka, even if they all taste the same. Let's say, which is not true, but in cocktails, the majority they taste the same. It's still important to have good liquid in your body. Man, it's the story of my life. Trust me, if I was working for another brand, I don't know if I could be the ambassador like this. You know, the people, they call me Vodka Terminator around the world.
Yeah, man, because you have a good quality vodka. You know?
Man, my job is to drink vodka. Let's be honest. Yes, I have to do the advocacy, to talk. But what do you think I'm going to do when I go out with bartenders or in events or if we have a party in a disco or whatever? I need to drink, even if I don't want to. And sometimes I drink massively. So good for my livers, good for my body, that the vodka quality is an alpha grade spirit, which is giving me great nights and great sleep and great wake up.
It's just tough. Again, I need to be the devil advocate on this. It's just tough because especially young bartenders who don't have the palate, who are just starting to understand what vodka is and recognizing the brands, they go because of the power of the brands. And sometimes you have to admit that sometimes the best product is not the one who has the most financial support.
Totally,
So
especially
who
in
will
vodka.
they believe in,
Totally, especially
who will they believe in? It's just
Nino, I always say to everyone, believe to yourself, to your mouth and nose. With vodka, it's very easy. If you smell something you don't like, it's aggressive to your nose, or the same in your mouth. I always say, if you're looking for flavors in vodka, you are wasting time. You are in the wrong segment of the spirit.
Yeah,
vodka is about the mouthfeel. It's about the sensation in your mouth. So it's about a smoothness and purity and geometry and crystal clear. That's why I love the martini. Yes, the consistency. That's why I love the martini, because it's a simple drink. It's like modern art for me, a martini. But when I look for flavors, I will go for mezcal. I have a huge collection of bourbon and rye whiskey. I will go for rum. That's flavor, or tequila. If vodka is all about the mouthfeel, and the mouthfeel is not something that you have to practice a lot. Take a vodka, blind. Don't think about the brand. Don't do blind tasting of vodkas and try and feel it. It's bitter. Is hot, is burning in your mouth. The smell is not bad. That's not the vodka for you. It's a good vodka in your mouth. It's good vodka for you. Maybe you discover this vodka is a very cheap brand made in Kazakhstan, and they don't have the budget of bigger company for marketing and advertisement, but it's really great. I tried so many nice vodkas when I was traveling in countries like Ukraine. And these vodkas, they're not popular outside of Ukraine, because the marketing wise, they don't have the power and the penetration in other markets. They were great tasting. With vodka, it's very easy. Trust yourself. Don't follow the marketing ads, because marketing is very powerful in everything, especially in a category where you have no rules. They can tell you whatever they want, and you will start thinking, "Oh, this is good." You will convince yourself that you're drinking good stuff. And maybe you're drinking a cup of pure alcohol with glycerin and citric acid. Man, they found glycerin. I mean, how bad can you be to put glycerin in your spirit?
That's really bad.
I mean, you have the option to put sugar. You have the option to put honey. They will do the same effect. But you put glycerin because you're a cheap beep. And you know what, but man, they found glycerin in some vodkas.
You don't regard people's health. So,
and very expensive one. So
another question. So may you tell us about some new trends among consumers and bars?
Oh,
I mean, this is now more.
Raphael, this is a great question, but this is a very long one. But I will answer you anyway, because I think it's a fair point. The pandemic changed a lot the game, and I have to be honest, I'm not happy, I'm not sad. It's just an evolution. So what the pandemic teach us, I want you to understand 3 points, or to focus on 3 points. Sustainability is no more something that we can do later on. We need to start with the sustainability topic. Everybody learned with this pandemic, with this punishment, let's say, from Mother Nature, that we need to treat our mother in a better way. So better for us, better for the planet. And lots of consumers are focusing on this. Better for me, better for the planet. No matter about what, but even in the cocktail. So, paper straw, recycling, zero waste, blah, blah, blah. So that's a good trend. That's a big trend, like botanicals, local botanicals, seasonal botanicals. Another big trend that is emerging is simplicity and premiumization. Why I say this? How many videos you saw about cocktails at home? People making their own cocktails, or bartenders teaching people how to make cocktails at home. And there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think that what makes a good bartender is not being able to make a cocktail. Cocktails are very easy to do. What makes a great bartender is your attitude in the hospitality business, is your charisma, is your experience. That's why people come to you. So no problem with making cocktails at home. So people were starting to do cocktails at home because they couldn't go to the bar. Trust me, when the bar open, they will jump back to the bar because nobody wants to cook at home or to drink at home. They want to go into a bar. So but the consumers, they were studying and they started to learn how to make cocktails. So they wanted to make simple serves. Premiumization, because when you are the one spending your own money to order a bottle for making the cocktail, then you start to create an association with the brands. So now, trust me, that when they will come back to the bar and they will ask you for a vodka soda, if before was the bartender to pour a vodka of their choice, now they will start to say, when I was at home, I was making vodka soda with this brand. So I will ask this brand to the bar, because they were forced to order brands accordingly to their taste. So they started to understand that a brand makes the difference. So simplicity, sustainability, and premiumization. So they will come more informed to the bar. They will know their stuff. Let's put it like that. But in this environment, it's very easy to play a good game now, because it's very easy to go with these 3 points. We launched in a campaign about vodka soda, but vodka soda plus, where the plus is the consumer adapting sustainable methods and to do their vodka soda bespoke to their needs. So, of course, vodka soda is simple. It's vodka and soda. But you can make a difference the way you do your soda. Maybe you do your own soda with a soda stream. Maybe you infuse your own soda with local botanicals from a market to sustain the local economy. Or maybe you cultivate your own botanicals. Maybe you want to add a touch of honey that you have beehives in your hotel or bar. So, it's a simple drink, but you can have tons of ways to, express yourself in these new trends. What I think is going to be lost is a lot of this mindset of the bartender, mixology chef that is doing the magic in the bar. I don't know. I don't see these complications anymore going around. I see more message rather than technicals. I see more of the message, and people, they will jump back to the bar to have fun. I don't see people going back to the bar and waiting 3 hours for a drink because the magician is doing the show. I see people going back to the bar and, hey man, give me the drink. I want to dance. I want to party. I want to have fun. So it doesn't mean that the speakeasies, they will die. No, but I think that the demand will change for something more fun. Maybe the 90s cocktail will come back. I would love that. Cosmopolitan, porn star martini, Sex on the Beach, Long Island. Maybe they will come back in a more sustainable way and with more techniques applied from the bartender.
Let's see. Because before the pandemic, the path of those drinks were more commercialized and more like consumers could get it in bottles, if you know what I mean. I really love a porn star martini. I don't want to go to the bar when I can go to the supermarket and get a bottle of it, or that type of thing. So hopefully you are right, and people will focus on quality as well.
I ended up in the dark. I tried. Yeah. The light is fighting against me because it's behind my back. So anyway,
okay. It's fine. We can see
you there. Any other questions?
No, we don't seem to have any other questions, and our time is about to run out.
Cool.
I don't know if there's any other questions. Worry.
I need to eat. I'm very hungry. I turned into vegetarian, so I'm eating like a lot. So I need my veggies, man. I need to eat.
Okay. Well, there doesn't seem to be any more questions. If they do need more questions, I think everyone can find you on Instagram, social media. You've got a great presence there. If not, they can contact Cocktail Team as well for any inside knowledge to Stoli vodka. I am sure as well that soon enough, you probably, as soon as you can, Portugal will be on your map to visit as well.
Oh yes, man, absolutely. I feel myself coming to Portugal very soon.
Okay, and you make sure you let me know, and I'll go to Portugal as well. I'll go to Lisbon and meet you there.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Stoli night out.
It's a deal. So, Simone, man, it's always nice to see you, brother.
My pleasure. Likewise, Nino.
I'll see you very soon, okay? And to everyone at home, muito obrigado e até breve, okay? Ciao.
Muito obrigado. Ciao ragazzi. Ciao. Thank you.
Tchau.
Marcou muita coisa, os formadores, os colegas, a forma de trabalhar.
A quantidade de informação que conseguiram passar praticamente num mês, ou menos de um mês.
Para quem ama e gosta de bar, dá para chegar a todos os pontos, desde de um destilado a um fermentado, conseguimos absorver uma quantidade enorme de conteúdo.
Todos eles percebiam mesmo das áreas que estavam aqui a falar, muitos deles percebiam muito mais áreas até, que facilitava muito. Falámos de muitas coisas e acabámos por falar de várias coisas numa aula que supostamente era sobre vodka, falámos de conhaques e de outras coisas, isso facilitava também bastante.
Adorei todos os formadores, Hugo Silva, Pedro Costa.
Gostei muito do Lapa, por exemplo.
Sabem aquilo que ensinam, a gente...
Teachers are all excellent. In the world, excellent teacher in the Europe, to say.
Já recomendei bastante, tanto através das redes sociais, como através de boca a boca, para amigos e de amigos para outros amigos, e recomendo a 100%.
Recomendaria. E já recomendei a muitos colegas meus também que têm uma paixão pela área.
A toda a gente que quer ingressar nesta área de bar e que não tenha conhecimentos, acho que este curso é uma mais-valia.